Hey guys, how y'all doing? I'm here to give you guys a recap on the new episode of Sword Art Online Alicization, or you could, Sword Art Online Alicization, however you pronounce it, on episode 2. Now, this episode right here, I'm pretty sure I could be one of those people of like, what just happened after seeing last week's episode? How did it end up, how did it ended up right there, you know? I'm pretty sure I'm like one of those people and not just like a single person, one asking that. I'll get to it just a second when I start my recap. So let's just get this started. We had to it that Kirito himself ends up having to be in the underworld, which he goes like, what the hell just happened? Why do I have my memories of like the real world and it's all transferred here? They're supposed to block all that. Of course, as the episode continues on, he ends up having to like walk around, wonder, and then he ends up hearing sounds of like something being hit, you know? And he ends up meeting a boy named Yu-Gi-Oh, which we all know who that guy is. I mean, if you guys saw last week's episode, you would know who Yu-Gi-Oh is. Not to mention, Yu-Gi-Oh and Kirito introduced to each other, made an introduction to each other, and of course, they end up having to ask a couple questions here and there. Of course, Kirito is like one of those people that's like lost people, apparently got pranked by a god, has his memories wiped out, and apparently doesn't know what the hell is going on, you know? And aside from that, we get to know that Yu-Gi-Oh actually had some kind of childhood friend taken away from him like 6 years ago, etc. And he ends up also talking about the demon tree that they have to chop down, which has been going on for 300 years. Even Kirito's like, whoa, 300 years, and then this girl Alice who's been taken away because she crossed into the dark territory, and we all know that. There's no denying that. Not to mention, Yu-Gi-Oh does not even remember Kirito, and I'm pretty sure it has to. And in my opinion, and maybe looking into a certain analyzation, which I may save that for later, it may have to involve with something about the system. But aside from that, we will get into that maybe later in the future because it's not really like much of a proven theory here and there about my stupidity, etc. But aside from that, yeah, Kirito, Yu-Gi-Oh introduced each other, and they end up having to try to chop down this tree. Kirito is let into the village after he shows off a certain sword skill, which somehow he ends up cutting, and he ends up having to take refuge at a church for now. So he's trying to wonder what the hell has been going on, you know? Because apparently, after combining some things here and there about 300 years in the underworld that he's in right now, even Kirito knows his program very well. Not to mention some other things happening which he's trying to figure out. And of course, he could go on a journey and maybe reach Central City to try to find a way how to get out of there, because he asked Yu-Gi-Oh like, how do you log out, etc. and so forth. I'm pretty sure all you guys might be asking like, how did this happen? I even asked the same question. After what happened in the first episode, which is like 48 minutes or making an hour if you add commercials on TV, we see to it that Kirito ended up in the underworld, and I just wondered to myself, after what happened in last week, how the hell did he end up here right away? Although like it's a food for thought or something, or just an idea, but I'll save that for later. But aside from that, like I said, I'm pretty sure many of you will have the same question as I have the same question. Like, how did Kirito end up here after what happened in last week's episode, you know? He got impinged by that freaking toxin, and then what the hell just happened there? Yeah. That is what I'm like one of those people asking like, how did Kirito ended up there after what just happened in last week's episode? And I know I am repeating myself multiple times, but I'm just saying. But aside from that, yeah, Kirito ended up in the underworld, meets Yu-Gi-Oh. Although like he does not remember, but he has nostalgia moments of meeting two people. One's a girl, one's a boy, which we all know who that is, obviously. And of course, Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't remember Kirito, maybe due to some kind of system whatsoever. Possibly it might be related. But aside from that, yeah, I guess there's some simple world building here and there about what's going on, about the tree, and then about some other stuff, Central City, Alice Chan taken there because she crossed into the dark territory, yada 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 yada. We all know that. Aside from that, we're gonna have to look forward to next episode, which it says the title, which I don't remember much, but one thing for sure, it's gonna look a little nasty here and there, possibly. So until then, I will see you guys in my next video. So I'm Alpha Zero, people. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time. All right? Peace out. Bye bye. Toot toot.